Are we in there then, right? We in there? We in there like swimwear? Everybody good? Everybody copacetic?
Where the hell does that come from? In there like swimwear?
You gotta ask Joey. He's the first one I ever heard say that.
Really?
Yeah.
I felt the first time I ever heard that was, I think, probably from Everybody Hates Chris.
I have no idea where I heard that from.
I said it at work. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, we in there like swimwear. And then I thought about it. I'm like, I know I hear Brandon and I hear you guys say it. But I was like, where the fuck does that come from?
Sometimes you don't question the rhyme scheme.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
It's all good.
It sometimes when I think about it, it confuses me. But then I'm like, oh yeah, this nigga like the cheeks. That's why he said it. So that's why.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's because swimwear is so tight. So like, if you're in there, you're really in there.
Yeah, you tight.
Wow.
That makes
Yeah, you tight.
I don't know. Maybe we should have a show dedicated to breaking down old sayings. You guys ever think about like who was the first person to say a saying?
Yes, I have. I definitely have thought about that.
I've thought about that before too, because I'm like, you know what? Throughout the week, I feel like I say some pretty dope and memorable stuff. But I'm like, there's no way I made up some of these words. You know what I mean? Like, who was the first person? Who was the first? Like, I mean, like all those cliches. Like I when I die on my tombstone, I want a saying that I created and I trademark, because everybody else around here is having their sayings just said and nobody know who said it.
Yeah.
This is a real problem. Okay, we need to figure this out. I need a committee. Okay.
I'm gonna have to come up with something too. Shoot, I'm trying to think of any original sayings that I have right now, and I can't think of any on my head.
What about that's what she said? Who was she? Who was the original she? Who was the original she?
And why did she say that?
And who said it? And why? And what time was she saying it?
Yeah, what did she say though?
Exactly. You know what? I think we opened up something that we weren't ready for. we are so far ahead content wise with this podcast. We have no idea what to do with it.
Yeah, that's what quarantine does to you, man. Let you think of the existential shit. I didn't think I said that word right.
He said extra essential. Is that what he said?
That's smart, man.
Like, who was the first person to say it is what it is? Because I'd like to shake that man's hand.
What it is.
I use that about 10 times a week.
I feel like it was like an old school black dude that was like sitting on the porch, and somebody told him like, "Man, they got a little railway last week." And he was just like, "It is what it is."
Like Dolomite. You ever see that? Dolomite just sayings over it. Like, hey man, it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play it cool, let it drip like a can of paint. You know what I mean? Like just guys that just keep talking. Like the original E40, you know what I mean? Like
slick talkers,
slick. Exactly. Sitting on the corner, flipping the coin up and down with a toothpick in his mouth, not doing nothing, but at the same time doing everything. You know what I mean?
Every time I think about slick talkers, I think about that one time we went to Taco Bell and that guy was like, "Fake it till you make it, man. Fake it till you make it." And we were just like, looking at him like, what is he talking about? And then he grabs an order. And then you guys all got your food, and I was like, "Damn, my food taking a long ass time." And like 20 minutes, later, I was like, "Hey, yo, did that guy take my food?" And then they were like, "No, he didn't have an order. He never ordered with us." He's like, "I think that guy took your food." I was like, "Ain't that about a bit?"
He told you what he was doing. He faked it.
Faked it, he made it
so that he could make it.
For real.
As long as you do it with confidence, then everyone believes you.
Basically, yeah,
man.
But all right, let's get into it real quick. What's going on, Piglets? It's your boy Taylor B, and I'm joined by my complex co-hosts Daniel, DJ, and Joey. Welcome to another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. And before we go any further, be sure to click that follow or subscribe button. And remember, Culture by the Uncultured is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Culture by the Uncultured. All right, boys, another week of quarantine. Y'all getting stir crazy? How y'all living?
I'm wilding right now. I still ain't got my check. This is the third show. We've had a show a week pretty much for the last 2 months straight, like 8 straight shows or something like that. Or since ever we got it popping again, maybe 5 or 6. No check.
We should have had a poll up on Twitter or something like that. When will Joey receive his check? By what episode will it be?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll chip out $50 to the winner. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for hanging tight.
Yo, I'm really thinking about that now.
Yeah, pick a day. You know what I'm saying?
TM.
Hey, yo, what day y'all got? What day y'all picking, man?
I'm shooting for May at this point.
The 27th on lock. The 27th, lock me in, Playboy.
I'm going for Cinco de Mayo.
Oh man, that's crazy. Well, start off the show. Obviously, usually there's like a bunch of music that we talk about or whatever, and not a lot of music came out that I don't think any of us are particularly interested in. At least there was some releases. I know like NBA YoungBoy had a release. Some other lesser known artists released some albums, but I don't think I don't know. Do you guys have anything? Because I definitely don't.
I don't think so.
As far as albums, there was a few singles here and there that caught your attention and all that, like the one you mentioned and all. But like I said, no big names dropped anything like that. There was no. Sure. Well, actually, no, we're lying. We're totally lying. Travis Scott's new song came out. Called
the Scots, featuring Kid Cudi. It was pretty cool. I messed with it. I added it to my playlist.
I got a few that I know that came out, but I didn't really get to listen to them yet. That I don't know how old it was or if it's recent, but Wiz Khalifa had that the saga of Wiz Khalifa come out.
Yeah, that just dropped.
And if you guys like K Camp, I know it's a lot of females, but K Camp and then Cali Uchis dropped an EP. Things like 5 or 6 songs.
Oh, Cali Uchis! I'm about to tune into that for sure. But Wiz Khalifa, I think he dropped the album on 420, right?
It's not an album. It's a EP, so it's only seven songs, 21 minutes. But it's still like he did drop something, and it's pretty good. I listened to some of it.
Also, and a shout out to a re-release that came out. The Chronic is now available to stream now.
Word.
Right. I've been listening to that album. I mean, pretty much since it came out, since I was like 10. Yeah, so it's like, man, why has it not been available on certain platforms? And I do listen to Apple Music, so that was cool. I wasn't waiting on this as much as I was waiting for Jay-Z's music to pop up, because I used to listen to The Blueprint faithfully, and I could not listen to no Jay-Z without Tidal, and I was not finna go that direction. So.
Yeah, so I guess some music did come out that we just didn't really get a chance to listen to that much. I just want to also give a quick shout out to Mac West. That's MACWE $T. He just dropped a new single called Needs. It's available on all your streaming platforms, and it's a dope song too. He's a pretty good artist. And then last but not least for this music stuff, or for like new but not new, I guess, I'm low-key upset with my friends because y'all let me sleep for a whole year before I heard anything about his last album, Chasing Summer. And I mean, I listened to the song John Redcorn today because they were like promoting it on Instagram because he just dropped a music video for it. And I was just like, wow, so nobody was gonna tell me about this. Y'all were just gonna let me not hear that album. Just
hey, in our defense, I'm pretty sure we were all well aware that you were a fan of his music. So if anybody should have known, we assumed that you did know, type of thing. You know what I mean? So it's all good.
That's part of the beauty of finding music, is finding it on your own time. Mm-hmm. It was meant to
also,
be.
Shout out to Joey for like putting 2 and 2 together and realizing that Sir is D Smoke's brother.
Yeah.
Because
and remember they had that rap show on Netflix. I had a discussion. I know. I brought it up to you, or I brought it up on Facebook because I had a conversation at work, and this girl was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of D Smoke?" And I'm musically out there, and I figure stuff out. So I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And he was like, "Yeah, I heard him. He's real nice, And then I was listening. Right, I was listening to some Sir. I can't remember what song I was listening to, and she was like, "Oh, I like that song. Who's that?" And I was like, "That's actually D Smoke's brother." And she was like, "No way." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I wonder who else doesn't know this." So I went on Facebook and I posted that status. I said, "You guys know Sir is D Smoke's brother, right?" And then people were surprised, and I was like, "Wait, did I just drop something that was, you know what I mean? Like not many people knew."
Because I don't think he talked about it on the show, if I remember correctly.
I'm not sure either, and I think that was for maybe to like even out the playing field to where nobody felt some kind of way. But if you go to NPR's Tiny Desk concerts, which I've been a fan of for years, I've been trying to put people on it on social media for a long time, but now it's really starting to boom. Sir had a performance not too long ago, and his mom and his other brother were performing with him. Now, if you guys don't know, D Smoke and Sir's mom used to be a background singer for Michael Jackson, and somebody else too. And his uncle was like a bass player for Prince. So their family is like musically gifted. So it's no surprise. It just made sense that they had a rapper to, kind of complement all the singers in the family.
Yeah. So
that was cool. Yeah, that was cool.
Also, shout out to me because I just found out that Taco is Sid's brother. Not really a shout out. I felt more stupid than anything because like they do somewhat look alike now that I see it, and then like I don't know. I just can't believe I didn't know that until this year.
That's cool. That's so crazy that you didn't know that, fam.
He said like happy birthday to my sister, and I was like, oh, like they're tight or whatever, that's all. But then he showed a picture of them as little kids, and I was like, oh, he means like blood, like they blood family. Oh, okay, all right.
They got that peanut head shape.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's crazy.
You are forever banned from Flog Knowledge for not knowing that.
Wow. Don't do them like that. Come on. It all happens. I'm pretty sure we all got things we didn't know until like recently.
Unfortunately, there's a little bit of bad news in the music world too. Fred the Godson succumbed to complications of the coronavirus. He will be missed. He's a pretty dope rapper. I saw him a couple times on I want to say Sway or what's the one with the one with Mac? Why do I never remember his name? Lugs, man. What's his name again?
Hot 97? Funk Flex?
Yeah, Funk Flex. There you go. Funk Flex. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he definitely was spinning bars. Every time I think about Funk Flex, by the way, I always think about Tyler the Creator and me and Funk Flex looking for some buff niggas sex or whatever.
That butt stuff had Flex totally flabbergasted, bro. He's so not ready.
Why would you include me in that bar?
The crazy part is if you ignore don't take like his words to heart, but if you just listen to Tyler, even when he gets off track and inappropriate, he's got bars. Like Tyler's got mad bars. So you can't even ignore it.
I remember my favorite line out of there. He was like, how many stocks do I own? How many stocks do I own? And he said, the whole bird, that's my broth in the bowl. And I was sitting there like, yo.
Yeah, he's got mad bars. Major slept on because of like how his genre kind of fluctuates and his aggressive tone. But Tyler, for this generation of people, he's probably top 5. I ain't even gonna front it from like 2010 beyond. Top 5. He has to be.
Yeah. That's why he was mentioned in that Controlverse.
What was the award he just got last year?
He got an award last year. He got an award this year. He got a Grammy this year.
Yeah. What was it? Music Innovator of the Year.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah.
That's nothing to like sneeze at. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
That's up there. What else we got?
Super talented. I'm gonna throw some good news out there since we had a little bit of bad news. Juice WRLD's first track since his passing, Righteous, came out. So I actually lied to y'all. There was a little bit of music that came out. I listened to it. I did enjoy the track. I added it to my playlist. And also his mother, Carmela Wallace, she started a fund called Live Free 999 because that was like his thing. And it's dedicated to helping youth that are battling with mental health issues. So kudos to her. I'm sure there's a lot of kids out there that could use help in that battle and that struggle. And last but not least, for this music stuff for this time, this is like the last little bit of music news that I got. So French Montanna claims he's got more hits than Kendrick Lamar.
That is crazy. Look. Shout out to French Montanna.
Wait. Before we get all the way into it, I just want to point out real quick. Young Thug pretty much quickly came to Kenny's defense And basically they started a beef, and he had a quick back and forth with French Montana, basically saying he don't fuck with him and all this and that. They called each other gay for whatever reason. I don't really don't care about that.
What the hell? How immature is that, bro? Come on, dude.
Yeah, and then pretty much the internet continuously, like after that moment, every day the internet was reminding French Montana that he does not have more hits than Kendrick Lamar. They were putting out like the numbers from like all the hits that Kendrick Lamar has, like on Billboard, how many number ones he's had, how many top 10 hits he's had, how many entries into the Billboard Top 100, and pretty much every different little site or whatever came up. All his streaming numbers, how many platinum albums he's got, all kinds of shit like that. Like he definitely is a different caliber of artist. So I don't see why French Montana can say that. Although some people did say that based off of maybe like club hits or something, he could potentially have him. I don't know that to be true personally. There are definitely some songs from French Montana that'll get me lit. I ain't gonna deny that. But Kendrick Lamar is like, honestly, in a battle, I wouldn't be able to pick Kendrick Lamar no matter what the song was.
I like French Montana, but I kind of lost some respect for him. And I also didn't appreciate that the person that spoke up and came to Kendrick's defense, because let's be honest, Kendrick knows he's a rap god. He don't even have to reply, for one. But the person who stepped up for Kendrick was Young Thug. Miss me. Sorry. We can do much better. Okay, we can do much better, people. We gonna let Young Thug stick up for Kendrick? I don't think so. And like I said, I like French Montana, but I kind of lost respect for him. Come on, G, really. And then somebody made a weak ass list trying to compare songs, and they were literally they probably picked French Montana's best 10 songs, and then didn't go through all of Kendrick's catalog and was just kind of finding songs where it's like, oh, this one's kind of close, this one's kind of close, this one's nah. There's like 3 or 4 albums that Kendrick could dust him with just on one album.
They just that's basically what happened. They just picked French's top songs, and then they chose just like a mixtape from Kenny. That's it.
Also, French Montana's a bit of a wave rider too. Like he does kind of cater his music to, I would say, a teenage crowd. Kendrick don't necessarily do that. Teenagers like him because they recognize greatness, but he doesn't cater to anybody but his style. So I don't. Are you trying to argue hits? What does that mean? Like you're saying, like club records? I mean, if Kendrick wanted to make more club records, French, shut the fuck up, French. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got no chance.
I heard the argument that French Montana makes music because he's seeking those numbers, like he's seeking the top number one song or whatever. And Kendrick Lamar makes authentic music
to feed the soul.
So their direction that their music goes in is not the same, so it's almost not even the same genre realistically. I mean, Kendrick definitely has some older songs that are like more turn up, and can be played in that sense, such as like Fucking Problem. I'm sure there's some more, maybe I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but I'm sure there's probably something on Good Kid, Mad City and before that were more like club turn up records. And his later stuff has been more towards like life and stuff, and spreading good messages and not just kind of like BS, like that can only be played in the club and has no real playable value anywhere else,
Pull up. I mean, there's more hits on the Damn album than French got altogether, so I don't even know why this was even a topic.
Yeah.
I don't know, because French Montana was just on life support like 3 months ago, right?
Something like that. He was like real sick or something.
Yeah, did they take out part of his brain? Because I don't know, he just sounds confused.
Well, you got to think, what if this is a calculated move? You got to think, like, remember when Eminem wasn't really dropping much, and then MGK came out and tried to diss Eminem, and then we got 2 albums from Eminem back to back. Now we haven't had anything from Kung Fu Kenny in a long time. Maybe this is just a tactical way
chase.
Honestly, I feel like it's more of a cloud chase than anything, just because of the argument or whatever, or the talk. I mean, he tried to clean it up a little bit by saying, I'm not saying that I have like better albums than him or anything like that. Like, he makes masterpieces, but he was talking about hits. I got 20 years in the game, blah, blah, blah. He tried to clean up a little bit, but then like the beef with Young Thug, and then followed by the, obviously the Kendrick Lamar, not really a beef with Kendrick Lamar, but the comparison between the two. And then recently he basically came out and said that Unforgettable, the song with Sway Lee, he brought that out. And for whatever reason, he said something like, oh, do you think that song was like that before I created it or something like that. Like he's basically saying that he had to like use his creative control and like work the song so that it became like a masterpiece or whatever. And then Sway Lee responded to that by saying cap. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to be. We're a million away from Diamond. Let's not have beef over that. We're both successful together and all this stuff. So he could be trying to just make a reach, you know, and trying to maybe. I know he just had a release and maybe didn't do so good. So maybe he's trying to, you know, have another quick release. You know, and I know he teamed up with some artists from New York recently, made a little video or whatever, and he's had beef with like 5 Foreign, and so I don't know. I don't know what the hell is going on with him and his beefs. I know he's an older cat too, so I don't
that
know.
That too. Any song that people know from French Montanna has got straight features on it. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like we don't really respect it on an artistic level. That argument doesn't support French Montana's side. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. He even got more hits than DJ Khaled.
Man, I don't even want to get into DJ Khaled.
I know, right?
Mr. Put my stamp on it.
Let's go into movies and TV, guys. Real quick. I don't know if you guys really know about any of this stuff, but if you guys do, go ahead and feel free to chime in, of course. Sony announced a live action One Punch Man. You know, I know you was talking trash earlier, DJ, and saying he's not that strong, but I'm sure he'll knock my head off anyway. So we got that to look forward to in the future. I'm curious as to how that's going to go, just because the webcomic series isn't over with yet, the manga isn't over with yet, and the show only has 2 seasons. So I don't know why you would waste your time doing this with something that's not even finished yet, but you know, we'll see how it turns up. Looney Tunes, you guys are fans of Looney Tunes, right? I know y'all know about that.
For sure.
Tweety Bird, all Daffy Duck, all those crazy, you know, Bugs Bunny. So apparently there are new episodes of Looney Tunes coming to HBO Max May 27th. So, you know, the new generation will get a taste of what those cartoons are like. You know, and I'm sure it's going to be a little bit different, more geared towards, you know, today's environment and society or whatever. So I want to get HBO Max kind of just to see what it might be like now. Because a lot of the cartoons nowadays are kind of wild in some aspects. Like they out here throwing jokes out there that go over kids' heads and stuff, you know. And I'm just like, oh, that was a little sketch. I don't know about that one, but
well, when you get HBO Max, slide me the password and the username.
You don't even got to do that. You already know they're gonna leak it on YouTube somehow, some way. It'll be free.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll see. All three. Who is going crazy with their mic right now? What y'all deep throwing right now?
What?
Y'all don't hear that?
Yeah, I hear it. I'm not moving mine at all.
I'm not moving mine at all either.
Okay. All 3 seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender will be available on Netflix in May, and on May 15th, actually. If you're not aware of this, Avatar is a highly successful TV or cartoon series or animated series in Nickelodeon. They had 3 seasons. The original series had 3 seasons. It was Book, Water, Book, Earth, or Book. Was it? Yeah, Book of Water, Book of Earth, and then Book of Fire was the final one. And there was like this big climactic battle in the end and stuff. And it was really good. There was lots of themes in there, lots of you know, personal like family disputes going on. A lot of it was war based. You can draw so many, you know, different things from it, and it was a great series overall. And people still talk about it to this day. People, you know, it even spawned a second series called Avatar: The Legend of Korra, which basically took place when all the characters from this series were pretty much old and close to their deathbed, if not already passed away. And then Korra was the Avatar after Aang, meaning that Aang had actually passed away, and now the new Avatar had to go on an adventure and do whatever in the world. The Avatar brings balance and all this stuff. It's a super long story. It's super easy to get into, and it's actually really great, in my opinion. So, you know, when that comes out, I definitely recommend checking it out. And last but not least, it's just kind of this is kind of just an announcement, just so you guys know about like the anime world or anime community. A lot of shows are starting to see the effects of COVID-19, and many seasons and shows are delaying their production and being just put on delay indefinitely because of COVID-19. It's unfortunate that this is happening, obviously, but obviously we don't want people to get sick anymore, and we want it to go away. You know, the whole flattening the curve thing. I was actually going to ask you guys if there was anything that you guys have heard about that is being delayed that you guys are kind of disappointed in or kind of sad about or whatever.
Well, for me in the anime world, I'm pretty much watching mangas or reading mangas. You don't watch mangas, but reading mangas anyway. So we're way ahead and all that. So if you're anybody who's waiting on an anime series that to watch it or anything like that. Try to look into the manga, to see if the manga is probably a couple seasons ahead anyway. So you can probably go ahead and get acclimated to that instead while you wait.
But then I gotta read. What if I don't know how to read?
Well,
I could say something.
Really... I was gonna say that you then just walk into traffic and just let's blame it on Darwinism.
Wow.
The only thing I know that's being delayed right now is my stimulus check.
Blame it on the COVID, man. Blame it on the
COVID, bro. And also, I can't wait for just. It's starting to get to me. I won't lie. I don't like going to many like malls and stuff like that, but it's sundress season, man. And I'm trying to see some booty cheeks eat up them dresses. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the house, bro. Catch me.
I knew exactly where you were going with that.
Swallow it whole. Backseat got the mumps. You know what I'm saying? I'm missing out on all of that. Jeez. Blame it on the COVID.
Trying to go outside, look at somebody and go, Lord, Mary, Jesus, and Joseph.
At this point, I'd be excited if a Jehovah's Witness walked up to my house. You know what I'm saying?
Careful.
Yeah.
Careful.
I know they dying to get out. So about they stay at home, man. We out here in full force with everybody. Granny in the wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? They always got like briefcase and shit. You know what I mean? Come on now. Can't wait.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to the sports now. Another sad news. Dak Prescott's brother also passed away from complications of COVID-19. It's crazy that we're losing so many people and so many people tied to people with money. Even like I'm sure Dak's brother was being well taken care of as far as if he was in the hospital or whatever. It's so crazy how serious it is and how the people that it's affecting and stuff. It's really kind of insane when you think about the fact that there's places that are reopening already, and like including beaches, supposedly some bars in like the southern areas, like Georgia and Texas or whatever. They're still trying to implement social distancing, but it's like, how well can social distancing really work when everybody's getting drunk? Those two things don't seem to go together, in my opinion. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was a video online of a whole ass packed wall to wall house party in Chicago.
Bruh.
Like, what are you doing?
Regardless of the fact that we're going through this, pandemic or whatever, and it's a virus that's literally like contact and breathing and all that stuff. Even if we weren't going through that bitch looked musty. That whole environment looked so musty, and it was upsetting to the eyes, and I could almost smell it through my screen.
Oh my God.
Absolutely just crazy. Not right now.
I saw a post that said, man, if none of these people die in 14 days, I'm going outside. I don't care.
Guinea pigging.
Yeah, for real. Keeping it in sports though, the draft was this week or this last week or whatever, right? I'm sure you guys tuned in for your favorite sports teams and, witnessed all the terrible picks that your team made. Give us a scoop, guys. What y'all think? I know y'all Chargers. We got a Charger fan in here. We got a Panthers fan in here. We got a Jaguars fan in here. Any other acquisitions you guys were stoked about? Let me know. Let's hear him.
That I was stoked about, no. But the whole time, ever since college season ended, I've been saying, okay, I want Isaiah Simmons. Like anytime anybody asks me, who are the top 3 people that you want the draft? I was like, Isaiah Simmons, and Isaiah Simmons. And he fell to us right there at number 7. And I'm sitting there like, okay, yes, I'm getting my wish. Like, we've had a terrible 2020 so far. This could be a good pivot to the right way. And they sat there and took a D tackle. And I was livid.
The best defensive tackle in the draft, man.
I will agree with that.
I don't care. I'm going to tell y'all what I told everybody that I had this conversation with in the last couple of days. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Michael Todd. A D tackle ain't stopping none of them people. That's why we needed Isaiah Simmons out here.
He can stop Todd Gurley, the running backs.
They're just gonna run around him. He's a D tackle.
Yeah, but I mean, if he blows up, I mean, he can D tackle. A good D tackle can blow up a line so well that he can be a force in the whole defense. Because then you don't have you don't have double teams on the edge if they are forced to double team the defensive tackle all game. I mean, you guys run 3-4 or 4-3.
4-3.
So if you guys run a 4-3, you got two strong D tackles. You have someone coming one-on-one against the edge, and if you have a decent edge rusher, then you're putting pressure on your quarterback.
Daniel's never satisfied, so if it's not his guy, he's not gonna like it. It don't matter.
It is a good pick, but I can understand where you're coming from with a middle linebacker would have been definitely, because he's a middle linebacker, right? I know he's a linebacker.
He's like a linebacker. He's like a linebacker safety combo, which is exactly what we needed because we lost Luke Kuechly, which is our middle linebacker, and we lost our best cornerback. So I'm like, we have nobody to cover anybody right now, and y'all got a D tackle.
Oh yeah, that's right. Isaiah Thomas was the best coverage linebacker in the draft. He also ran like a really good 40.
And another thing, Joey, I don't want to hear what you got to say about my Panthers or how I stand because you wanted 4 against Gilbert. Okay, so we can.
Oh my God!
We're gonna see something. You gonna talk? That was my first 3 games playing online, and there's a super lag, and I'm trying to get adjusted. So I'm not even hurt, to be honest. You just know that you're gonna need that fade as soon as you finally get the game.
Low key, it makes me want to get the game just so I can play again. It's been so long.
I'm gonna wait for the new one. The new one should be coming out not too far from now, right?
Shit, I want to get the game just so I can watch.
I was gonna say.
It comes out in August. Hey, don't worry. If I play Joey, I'll stream it on Twitch so y'all can watch.
A few of our favorite teams were pretty bad last year. So DJ likes the Chargers. Daniel likes the Panthers, and then it was the Cardinals pick, and then my team, the Jaguars. So
top 10 picks, baby.
Top 10. I don't know how, I'm not too proud of that, but whatever. The Panthers passed up on Isaiah Simmons and got Derek Brown, the DT from Auburn. Isaiah Simmons went the very next pick to the Cardinals, and now the Cardinals are looking fat stacked because old boy just went there. You know what I'm saying? From the Texans. So they're looking fat right now. They giving Kyler Murray a bunch of weapons to play with right now. And then the Jaguars picked, and they probably got, one of the better 2 DBs, CJ Henderson, cornerback out of Florida. And then it was a pretty good draft for my team. The Jaguars went heavy defense, but the surprising one, I would say, was the Packers traded up a few picks to go get that quarterback Love, and they still have Aaron Rodgers, and he's like, I want to play 10 more years. And nobody really disagrees at the fact that he's still an elite, probably top 5 quarterback in the league. So what the hell were they thinking? You know what I'm saying? Like, a backup, you're drafting a backup pretty much?
Well, I mean, you got to think, like, it's obviously it's nowhere near as close as it was with Favre and Rodgers when they drafted it, because Favre was already at the twilight portion of his career. Obviously, Rodgers had to sit for like 3 years before he actually left and then went to the Jets and then finally retired. But, I mean, I'm not saying that he's not still an elite level prospect. I still think that he's easily one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, even probably top 5 in most cases. But he is getting old. I mean, there is a lot of injury concerns that have happened. He has been getting hit a lot, and he has a lot of mileage on him. So I could see this as just, I mean, I think that I'm more surprised that the Eagles got a quarterback than I am that the
Jalen Hurts. I'm not. They needed a quarterback. They needed a bat because let's keep it real. Wentz got hurt the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
whether it was for a long time or just the wrong time, he keeps getting hurt. So what are you supposed to do?
Wentz has only been in for 3 years. He's only been in the league. So I mean, I understand it. Don't get me wrong. I understand it completely. You got to get that backup to be able to make sure. I mean, shit, he could be the next best thing, especially for Philadelphia. That's all they're missing is a quarterback on offense, really, other than Like, because last year at the end of the year, their whole offense came together and they started doing really well. Other than a receiver, I think that I mean, having that solid quarterback is basically what they needed. But
can you realize that the Packers did draft a receiver at all? Like they gave Aaron Rodgers exactly no help as far as who to throw the ball to outside of Devontae Adams. He lost his tight end, and his running backs are sketchy at best at catching the ball.
We're saying all that, but didn't they go to like the conference championship last year?
No, they're going to be. So that's the thing. Like, Aaron Rodgers. Well,
we're acting like this is an 8-8 team, and they desperately need help. They're not that bad.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I think that like, don't get me wrong. I'm a little biased because I have Devontae Adams on my keeper league, and I'm very happy that they don't have any other options other than him because that means that I'm going to get a lot of receptions. But he's proven that with very little he can do a lot. Like,
let's talk about
Devontae Adams was hurt half the year.
Let's talk about some funny stuff, though. Remember we were watching the draft and they were showing that guy's girlfriend tried to grab his phone when he was, like, distracted, and then he snatched it right back.
Oh, yeah.
That had me going. And then there was another frame where somebody was getting drafted, and, you know, some of these guys get emotional, and he started to, like, cry and kick and, like, sink into the couch. And his girlfriend started hugging him, and like she was like taking up the whole screen. And somebody, auntie your mama, grabbed her and snatched her out of the way. Like, girl, move your ass. Yeah. That's the funniest damn thing I've seen in a while. That was so fun. And let's just keep it real. It was I think it was a tackle. Was it offensive tackle?
Yeah, it was an offensive tackle, and it was I believe it was CeeDee Lamb.
It was a black man. It was a black player with a black family, and the girlfriend was white. So when she was hugging him, taking to the screen, it pretty much looked like a black mama yanking some white girl.
I saw that so much. I saw that so much. Every time they cut to one of these, like 90% of the time when they cut to one of the family, it was the white woman. You can say, "Oh yeah, that's the girlfriend."
Ain't that crazy? I don't know if we got to get into that on the podcast because that's kind of risque, but you know, it is what it is. You know, everybody seen The Blind Side. He don't went white from the beginning of the movie, so you know.
Yo. So I guess it about wraps up the draft then, right?
Yeah, I mean, other sports news. We're missing out on sports right now, man. Basketball, the playoffs would be going on right now. Baseball season would have been started, so I'm kind of missing all that stuff.
I hear that the NBA supposedly letting them, they're considering letting them go to practices and stuff now
in states that are opening.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting, I guess. You know, people at least get to go back to work. And
I mean, it's not really. It's weird to say that in states that are opening, you guys can facilitate there and blah blah. Now, if they're opening that up to all teams to go practice in those states, that's fine. But I wouldn't say, because your team plays in this state, you guys can practice, but the rest of y'all can't. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm not exactly in favor of that unless they kind of opened it up to everybody within those states. Because I just don't think it's fair. Yeah, it's not fair. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to some game news. Travis Scott had his little concert on Fortnite. I know some of us watched it. Personally, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a little bit pretty creative. A lot of times, Fortnite does like a transition phase between the current map that's going on in the current season to the next map for the next season. In the beginning, it was like little stuff, like little changes. You would see like a comet or something. At one point, there was a cube hopping around the map and stuff. Obviously, it became more grandiose and bigger things happened. I think, what was it, like season 3 or 4, where it was like you were like going to like the wormhole or something, and then like a whole portions of the map were gone or changed to something else completely different. You know, a lot of places were gone. I know like a meteor hit like Dusty Depot or something, and there was like a whole like Area 51 site going on there and stuff. So it's interesting in that regard. And I'm pretty sure this is my guess that this whole Travis Scott concert was going to be the transition, but it's a little bit different, obviously, because it was like an in-game concert.
Well,
I believe
to add on to that real quick before you finish up on that. I just saw something online when I was reading about it. They actually decided to extend the season. That was the end of the season was supposed to be the 30th for for Fortnite. However, they just extended it to June, so it means it's going to add another 2 months onto this season. So
So they might add something else then for the actual transition event then.
Yeah, they're talking about how they have a lot of stuff under their sleeve, and they have a bunch of surprises to come out in this article posted from Fortnite. But we'll see what it has to do with that. But I mean, you keep on going. I thought the concert was awesome.
Okay. Yeah, it was cool. It was like a cool visual, something that not a lot of people will get to see. I mean, obviously, when you go to a concert, like a festival, there's like a big screen you can like flash or put whatever you want to put on there. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably clips of your music videos. Maybe some. I know Logic for a while was doing like clips of different animes that he enjoyed a lot. Some people that's usually what you see. Maybe pictures or something, or just kind of like the cover art for like their album that they're performing or something like that. It's usually not too crazy. Some people have a little bit of different animated visuals, but I've never seen anything super like crazy or that far out there. As far as the concert goes, obviously it wasn't the best in the world just because like sound quality and issues like that. But like visually, it was cool. It was a cool experience, like a cool virtual experience. Travis Scott comes down. He's this giant behemoth guy, and he's like dancing. He's like grabbing stuff out of the air, making lightning hit him, catching himself on fire. He's making all these other things appear. He like throws you into the air and you're like floating there, and like you go into like this little thing that like comes into like a wormhole or something. You're like being teleported to like what looks like Astral World. It's super crazy. And there was just a heck of a lot going on until like, people started and then the game started and you just start fighting like regular or whatever. Right. But it was pretty cool in that aspect just because a lot of games you can't do something like that. Like, we're not getting any kind of transition for the map so far in like Warzone. We're not getting transitions in other games. I don't know if there's anything like that in PUBG or H1Z1 or, any other games like that. Usually it's just like, oh, here's more skins, here's more, maybe more weapons, things like that. But as far as like an in-game like concert or in-game event, I think Fortnite's like the kind of like the staple on that. Really, nobody else is really doing it or doing it as big, at least. As big as in-game events. The only other games I can even think of that do crazy big events like that are maybe like MMOs, but it's like nothing comparable to what Fortnite has done as far as a concert is concerned, And for a long time, MMOs were pretty much running the world, like World of Warcraft, things like that. There's hundreds of thousands of players every day, every month.
Yeah.
But what are you guys' thoughts and opinions on it, though? I know Daniel watched it, right? I don't know if Joey got a chance to or not. And
for sure. Yeah, I watched it. Like I was saying earlier, the set list was a little underwhelming for me. Because he picked the songs you would think he would pick. Especially with only being 10 minutes, and I had an idea that everybody I've talked to over the last couple days about it. I had an idea of how you could start the whole thing, and everybody's like, "Dang, he should have done that." And I was like, "Bro, if I'm sitting here thinking of this, you should have been thought of this if it's your concert, fam." Basically, the idea was it's the people that are in Warzone are from Fortnite, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
like that's Fortnite, that's like the merger of it, pretty much. And so at the beginning of every Warzone, you're in that plane. In the beginning of Fortnite, you're in that bus. When you're in Warzone, you click what area you're going to go to, right? So you could have everybody that was on the bus, everybody that's in the plane from Warzone, and they click. And they can see where the concert is going on way far off in the map, and they can click it. And then as they're jumping out and like using their parachutes and everything, the song Skyfall is going on. And that's pretty much your opening song to go. And then right when you hit the ground, that's when the concert actually starts. That way you could have got everybody from Warzone in there, everybody from that only doesn't play Fortnite but plays Call of Duty and likes playing Warzone. You could have got that much more people involved into the concert like that. So that was my idea of it, but go ahead.
I was gonna say not to like rain on your parade or anything, but the conflict. You're mixing two different games in, so that obviously would have been the hardest part of that. But correct me if I'm wrong, DJ. I'm pretty sure that you couldn't even fight at first, could you, during the concert? Or I don't know.
So when the event dropped, I wasn't there for the first day because I had work. But the second day, my wife plays Fortnite basically every day. My daughter is 10 years old, so she also is into Fortnite, Roblox, all that sort of stuff. So when you start in the game, you drop in as a normal game. You have to queue into a specific game mode. What Fortnite does is they basically they closed out all of the game modes, so there's no creative, there's no duos, there's no singles. Like, you can join as a group, but all the other game modes are closed out, and the only thing you can do is this competition. You'll fall into a match, and the match will start, so you can build, you can fight while the set list gets prepped and everything. So basically, there's a timer. There's a timer on a huge stage where you land, and that timer will tell you, hey, the show starts in X amount of minutes. And that's to allow people that don't have the greatest of connection to connect to a server before these all goes down. So you can connect to a match. Like, me and Ashley jumped into a match 30 minutes early. And because they recommend, hey, give it 30 minutes. So log into a match, and then if you get in the first minute, you get in the first minute. If it takes you 15, 20 minutes to get in, at least you still got in. So it doesn't start until the end, until like that 9 o'clock set list happens. So at 9 o'clock, it'll drop, and then it'll have all weapons will be disabled, all building will be disabled, and it'll just be the concert, and it'll be the everything that's going on will happen. So you'll be able to see the things that'll happen.
Yeah, but visually, that thing, it was pretty lit. I'll give them that. Like I was saying, I don't know how much decision making Travis had as far as what they did, or the different dimensions and realms they went into when they were making that and all that. But it was definitely visually appealing. I liked that. It's probably one of the best thing about the whole concert was the visuals they put in there.
I'm watching it right now. It's about 10 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just watching it, I guess, from one person's perspective. They're just kind of running around the map and following him around. And it looks like everybody else is kind of following suit. Like, where this gigantic, I guess, character of Travis Scott is like walking around the map dancing and performing. So like everybody just kind of like keeping it from different angles.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So not everybody's angle is
cool. It's cool and all, but I got some questions. Like, if this is live, was Travis Scott actually moving around at this time, or was it pre-recorded?
No.
This is a pre-animated. So he went. So what had happened was he went to Epic, and they went to the studios, and he had recorded a set. He had recorded a set of movements, and he basically mocapped for the video, basically like how you would do a music video. And he mocapped in order to basically say, this is what I want my character to do, and things that he couldn't personally do himself, he had someone else come in and do for him. So this is as close to a virtual version of Travis Scott that you will get, without it being 100% live. So he's not singing a live like re-vocalization of it, like they did with the Marshmello content, but it is his creative freedom with what they wanted to do with this concert.
Okay, I mean, it's cool. I'm watching it right now. It's pretty cool. It's just.
Yeah, so like I was saying before, like I had alluded to Marshmello earlier, Daniel and I kind of talked a little bit about this in the pre-show. The one thing that Daniel was saying was the set list was a little bit lacking because it was only 10 minutes long. The Marshmello set list, the set list, the main set list that a lot of people paid attention to was about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. However, it was a full 35-minute set list for Marshmello's concert in Fortnite that happened about a year ago. And the difference between what happened with that one is that one was more musically based, so it was more of the songs, and it was kind of like a DJ set. If you've ever been to a rave or a massive, or you've seen the David Guettas, the Marshmellos, any of those type of DJs, you know how it happens at a set list. You have fireworks, you have the lights, you have all that sort of stuff. That's kind of what it would look like in the past, while the visual interpretation now was stunning. I think that this visual representation from Travis Scott, what I would love for it to be 30 minutes long, or like an actual set, like a 25, 30, 40-minute set. Yeah, that would be fucking awesome. But it is a little taste of what we can get in the future, because my kids watch this. Like my whole family sat down and watched this, and it's something that, like, if Fortnite wouldn't have done this, none of my kids would have ever seen a Travis Scott concert unless they went to go see it in 10, 15 years?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, this was definitely a good event for the kids to kind of be able to witness the songs. And I believe the curse words were even bleeped out too, weren't they?
Yes, it was a completely family-friendly event.
Yeah, for sure.
So screw the Wiggles, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. But But yeah, and other gaming news as well. The Last of Us Part 2 story leaked online. Um, I know the developers actually released a statement saying, like be patient and stick with us. Basically saying that try to avoid the spoilers if you can. And it's unfortunate that it was leaked or whatever. But hopefully you guys will still tune in to the game and enjoy it or whatever, enjoy the experience. We actually also have other developments that we just found out too, thanks to Daniel's sleuthing. We basically found out that a lot of the creatives or like people that worked on the game for The Last of Us 2 were actually they decided to leave the studio because the divisive political stance that the game is apparently taking. Evidently, the game has a lot to do with like extremist Christians who are super anti-LGBT, and that's pretty much the main story of the game, I guess. And a lot of the creators are actually Christian, and it wasn't so much the fact of the game's content, more so the fact that it was such like a kind of like taboo to bring it up, and that you would kind of be ostracized if you brought it up, at the workplace.
Right.
So people were saying that a lot of people can maintain their professionalism, they didn't care. But if they, for like 1 second, you voice like, oh, that's kind of messed up or something, then it was like, oh, you're anti-LGBT, you hate them or whatever, you're blah, 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 you're Christian or whatever. And it's kind of like, dang, like I was telling Dan before the show started, I was like, man, this is kind of like, it's weird to like, we're at this point now where kind of like the shoe was coming on the other foot, like before, like I'm not saying all Christians are like this by any means. I know a lot of very accepting Christians, and I've been to a lot of churches that accept, pretty much anybody. But, there was a time obviously where, LGBT people were not accepted everywhere. A lot of people would, come in droves to kind of like, admonish them and kind of like say like, hey, like, you're not supposed to be this way, turn to God and, be straight or something like that, all kinds of crazy signs or whatever. The biggest example, and I don't know why this is a big example that I have right now, was the movie with, oh my God. I not pronounce you Chuck and Larry, where they have to get married so that he can maintain the insurance and all that stuff. And then he goes to that event, and then there's like a bunch of like extremists, like religious people that are like trying to like gay bash and stuff. And then one of them gets like punched or whatever. Right. But so like that's just an example of something like that. And so it's kind of, and then, but now obviously the shoe's on the other foot where that side is kind of like, hey, like, religion, like you guys are, whatever, you guys are bad, or you guys are the ones that are like kind of being ostracized, and like, your thing is bad, like, stop being who you are or whatever, but we're never gonna, I'm not gonna say we're never gonna find a happy medium, but it just sucks that like, the year that it is 2020, and all about the acceptance and all this stuff. And it's so crazy that we're still at this place where there's no happy medium, and it doesn't even seem like we're close. It's just kind of like it went from one side now and it's going to the other side. And it's like same for like pretty much like race and all kinds of other stuff, police and civilians and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, like we went from one side basically and pushed to the other side. So like now cops are the bad guys, now, whatever, like white people are the bad guys now, religious people are the bad guys. And it's just like, dang, like there can be a happy medium, and there can be bad people on both sides, just like there's good people on both sides, but people don't really care or want to see that, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think we're going to find that happy medium in this country for a long time. And I've thought about this for a long time, and I've kind of come to that conclusion that just how this country started and how it's progressed or not progressed in the eyes of a lot of people, it's just not going to happen, man. And that's why you have to really just focus on yourself and try to do better for you and the people around you, because there's always going to be somebody else trying to break you down. Yeah. And you just have to try your best not to break down your own people, because there's always going to be enemies. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough, man. You would think that we'd get it together by now. And I like to use the word, it's 2020 as well here, and because time has passed. But to be honest, the more time has gone, the more time people have had to be bitter about stuff too.
Yeah, the more things stay the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for real.
So who knows, man? It's just it's hard to find a happy medium in a perfect world, yeah. But the government also has a lot of control over a lot of us. So if we were more free as people, the way the Constitution states, I guess, if we really were more free as people to do trading and we weren't being taxed on everything, I think everybody else would just kind of be, everybody in general would be a little happier all around, and we wouldn't worry so much as what does this man got? What does this man got? But now we just sit here and compare and contrast and realize we're never in a good place. So, I feel like people get frustrated, but
that's a fact for sure.
Yeah.
Last but not least, real quick before we go into our personal recommendations, I just want to put out there, apparently Kim Jong-Un is dead.
That's what I was going to say.
Or on life support. Super crazy news. There's hella jokes.
Different stories, man.
Different stories, hella jokes. It's going crazy. People are saying that the next person in line, I saw a comparison of like Kim Jong-Un is fat Majin Buu, and that this woman that's taking his place is Kid Buu, meaning that she's a lot worse. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going on.
It's scary,
some
man.
People think that the I know they had I think Chinese doctors come to give advice or whatever how to proceed with whatever surgery he was having, and some people think that they went over there and they just killed him. Some people think that his own people might have just got rid of him. I even heard from a theory from somebody really close to me that said, what if he was just one of the people that was against one world government and now he's out of the way?
Right.
I was like, what? I said, what?
No, right.
He was
always in favor of separating his rules from everybody else. Why would I want to join your guys' union?
Exactly.
And there's a bunch of different stories going on there. I just read a headline at the beginning of this podcast. I was like, let me see what I'm going to bring up in case we don't bring it up. And I was going to bring this up, but there's a possibility he's dead, or brain dead, or in perfect health. So who makes up these stories just because, man? Because now it's driving me crazy. Because just within the last 5 years, how many stories have they brought on the news about Kim Jong-Un being upset with certain things, or the possibility of a world war popping and blah, blah. And all of a sudden this guy's 35 and brain dead and we don't know what the hell's going on. He's only been the leader since 2010, 2011?
Yeah.
Something like that. And he was young at the time. Yeah, he was only 23, 24, I think, when he first. Yeah. So he's got a pretty good grip on, how he was running his nation. And now that supposedly he's not around, who knows?
I don't know if this was coincidence or not either, but the other day I was on Hulu. I had just logged in, and one of the first titles I was on the main screen was the interview.
I
was like, what?
What a time! What a time!
I was like, what is going on? But
what if he's just busting a Tupac? What if he's just disappearing? Supposedly I'm dead and I'm somewhere else chilling. What if he just had enough? What if he just completely had enough?
That would be hella wild.
Man,
I don't think people really know how to react if he just appeared somewhere else. Now I know who my real allies are or something. I don't know.
Do you think the next person continues in his footsteps, or you think the next person tears down the wall and they become Korea again instead of just North and South?
There might not be any changes, man. You never know.
People are saying that the comparison of that picture, the Majin Buu Kid Buu thing, would make people believe that they're saying that she is worse than he is. I don't know though. I don't know nothing. I don't even know the lady's name. I just remember.
We don't know that here. That's just. I think people are just making pictures. They're like, oh, he kind of look like Majin Buu, and then she's kind of thinner, and that I'm not finna let a meme get to my head like that. That's some bullshit.
Sure. I was just curious because I don't really follow political things like that, too much news unless it kind of makes headlines and it's being talked about everywhere. That's the only reason why I found out about this. So when I saw it, I was just like, oh man, if they already got somebody next, I'm sure they've had somebody who would be the next person to have power if something were to ever happen to him or whatever. But if I don't know how somebody could make that comparison, unless like you said, it probably was just a joke. But if somebody actually was making that comparison, oh no, you guys don't realize she's a lot worse than he is, then heaven help those people. Then
Yeah.
He's having his round in the Gulag right now. That's all I know.
Oh my God. Here we go. And the crazy thing is, I know you don't have social media, and that is actually a joke that's going around. And it was a picture from it was a picture from what's that movie, the drunk one, where oh my gosh, I can't remember no like movies today. Yeah, there's a picture from The Hangover where that the Asian dude is like parachuting in, and it was like Kim Jong-Un. It was like Kim Jong-Un after he beats Bin Laden in his Gulag match.
Oh my god, I'm crying. Oh,
y'all wrong.
That's so horrible.
Super crazy. But yeah, that about wraps up the show then. And I guess we can go into something you're messing with real quick. For me personally, I've been messing with the show Dave by Lil Dicky. It's on Hulu. It's also on FX. It actually takes place on FX the first day. I think it's on Wednesdays it releases. And the next day, Thursday, it gets released on Hulu. Dude, it's a great series. I absolutely recommend it. It will have you laughing. There is like super weird, eerie episodes. And then like there's like great themes. Like his hype man is bipolar. His roommate is his manager, and like Taco is just his DJ. Or he's like his DJ and like his producer, and he has like so many artists on the show. Tierra Whack was in the show. Trippie Redd, Young Thug, Gunna, YG, OT Genesis, just a ton of people that were in the show. And it's funny. He showcases a little bit of his ability. Obviously, Macklemore was in the show. I remember that. Definitely check it out. It's great. You know, he's a hilarious person. He's definitely a great character, and all the characters that are really kind of maintained or like important to the story, they're all very well done. They all have their own personalities. They're all individuals. They all have their own things, and they all have their own interactions and relationships with each other too, which I think makes it super awesome. But like I said, check it out, please. It's super dope. It's on Hulu. Once again, it's just Dave because his name is David Bird. So, but yeah, check it out on Hulu. It's Dave.
Go ahead, Joe.
Next victim.
I'm not sure. I'm still kind of thinking about if somebody else want to go.
I mean, I can go ahead and jump in right now. So, something more of the mess where I'm not really messing with, but something that I've heard about. Going on with more of this conversation about the COVID-19 sort of stuff. Since my brother is 18 years old, he's a senior right now. Well, he was still kind of a senior. I don't even know what to consider it right now, but obviously everyone knows what's going on with COVID-19, how they're canceling prom, canceling graduation, all that sort of stuff. So online there's been a lot of things going around for sponsor a senior. For all those seniors that don't have an opportunity to graduate, it gives families an opportunity to be able to sponsor them, send them a care package, send them sort of stuff just to make them feel as though, even though they've missed out on what a lot of people would consider some of the like milestones in your life, like going to prom and graduating for the first time. It gives them something that they can be able to look at. I know that there's some on Facebook. You can probably search it up on Sponsor a Senior on Google. But it's something definitely to take a look at, something that a lot of people are thinking about. I know my mom personally sponsored someone from Texas and got nothing but love for it. So that's something that I've been kind of messing with.
As for me, like I'm in that weird space to where I've watched all my shows, and I'm trying to find something else to watch and this and that. And I started watching this show called Tales from the Loop from Amazon. But as I was sitting there trying to watch that, I was just like, I haven't actually taken the time to just enjoy like some peace and quiet, even though in the middle of this COVID stuff, we do have that. So I just want to shout out to people, to go ahead and try meditation or go ahead and try, reading a book or something, just to chill out and just enjoy this time. Especially the people that are still out there working because they're emergency services or something like that. They're nurses, they're doctors and all that. They literally don't have any time to sit back and relax and to chill out and do that. So if anybody's out there that's in that works in a hospital, that works in an urgent care, that works in one of these homes where the elderly live, when you're getting home, digest your time and just chill out. That's just something I would do to take care of your mental health.
Something I'm messing with is we're almost into May, and Cinco de Mayo is coming up, and it falls. That's right, on Taco Tuesday, and that's something I think I'm gonna go in this year because it does fall on Taco Tuesday. I might have to do a all-out taco party at the pad, so that's something I'm messing with. Pretty basic, but I did tell myself last week I was gonna go in.
I am all about this. If it falls on Taco Tuesday, I'm about to up some tacos on that Tuesday.
It's literally a week from tomorrow. It's a week from tomorrow. It's Taco Tuesday. It's also Cinco de Mayo. We have to go hard. 2020.
But do your tacos have to be socially distanced as well, or no?
Wow. All right, piglets, this has been another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Culture by the Uncultured. Remember, piglets, Culture by the Uncultured is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We hope everyone out there is staying safe, and if you can't be safe, be deadly. Catch you guys next time. Later.